Hi everyone. So one question we get a lot is whether or not it's important to process the trauma someone experienced in their childhood if we're dealing with mind-body syndrome. And I don't think that there's a black and white answer. However, in general, and studies have shown this, when you go back to process the trauma, there is a chance that you will re-traumatize yourself because the brain cannot distinguish between real and imagined. So the important part is, and this worked for me, it's worked for many others, psychologists, therapists use this. The important fact is to understand that when you get triggered in the present day, it's most likely due to something that happened to you in your past, right? Because everything you've experienced in your childhood, let's talk about childhood trauma. Everything you've experienced in your childhood is stored as a memory in your amygdala and other parts of the brain. And when you encounter a similar experience in the present day, your brain remembers that. And the brain is always working on protecting you. That's the brain's job. So if you get triggered, the brain says, oh, I remember this from when I was little, this is dangerous, and it will give you sensations. Things like heart racing, sweating, high blood pressure, anxiety, whatever it is, right? And that typically happens before you're even aware of the emotion, before you're even aware that, this triggered some kind of memory. So the key then is to understanding that, right? You have to have that knowledge, and then understanding and believing that, okay, these sensations are real, but they are created by my brain. And I don't have to fear them because there's nothing wrong with me. This is just my brain. And for that, you can use messages of safety, which we've talked about on this channel before. You can use scripture, you can take authority, whatever works for you. And the more you do that, the more you're teaching your brain that you are safe. The more you're avoiding triggers, the more you're teaching your brain that that trigger is actually dangerous, even though it's not, and your brain will continue. So the way out for many of us, myself included, has been to just understand that fact. And when sensations come, when anxiety comes, whatever it is, to stay calm, right? Because God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And if you can respond calmly without fear, then your brain will understand, okay, this is not dangerous. And if I'm presented with that same situation again, I don't have to create these sensations anymore. So give that a try and let us know what you think.